this bull season in the crypto market is going to be really interesting because the numbers don't lie, because the data kind of gives you the reality of what the market is holding on to, what the market likes to look at. And yes, some of these are speculative movements in the market, looking at possibility of new inflow of money. But some of these are thought process or well-educated guess from high net worth individual and investors. Now, if you bring all of those and look at the general market sentiment, see, this is NASDAQ. What can you actually see here? On a weekly, the MACD is trying to cross back to the upside. Last time we did that, we had a micro correction for a week for sure, but the price kept going higher and higher and higher. Yes, in between you get these drops, and that's a part of this journey. And if you take the same thought process into the crypto market, you're watching something similar. You're watching the range is expanding. You're watching the price action is giving you clues or hints related to where it may travel. So in the recent videos, we argued about this possibility, and now it's slowly starting to play out. What can that look like in next couple of weeks? That's what we're going to break down here. Should actually be focused on which direction the trend is going. Is the trend slowing down? Is the momentum increasing? Because if the momentum is increasing, now you don't want to miss that part of the ride. So Bitcoin kind of shows you on a 3-day chart again that this level of 70,000, 69,500 to 70,000 is acting as a strong resistance all the way from 10th of March. So now we have actually formed a pattern like this, inside which the price is slowly grinding to the upside, trying to see if it can break to the upside. Now remember, on a monthly, on a 3-month chart, a quarterly, you look through this and you're like, okay, we're going higher. MACD has been expanded. RSI is getting close to the overbought region, and historically, that's where you get to see something exciting. Now, does the same idea work in Ether? This is what you should be asking yourself. Because the last month, the confirmation for Ether came in with a bullish engulfing candle. Now you want to see when the hell will the weekly enter the overbought territory. So on a logical perspective, after Ether does this break to the upside, you want to see it come back down a little bit, 3,400, 3,350, wherever, and then bounce off, which kind of goes in line with the trend. Now we pick up XRP for that matter. Whether you are a trend-based guy, whether you are looking for the momentum, you can kind of learn something from the market. We had increasing level of momentum for sure. We deviated from the original angle. It went up. But now we broke that and came back into the range, which has been choppy. We stayed inside this range for XRP weekly. Kind of gives you clear idea of 0.46 to 0.54 has been a strong support resistance zone from 2022. So the price of XRP never went below 0.29 since the crash of Terra Luna. After that, we started grinding back up. So if you put the perspective of just a neat and clean look at the support zone, which is the accumulation here, then a reaccumulation, this looks fine. But it's not the textbook pattern for sure. There is a hell lot of volatility inside this asset. Now, if Bitcoin as a store of value asset is taking in this amount of attention while the ETF is live, and you have a ton of institutions building on short position. So I'm thinking about it like this. Think about this. The spotted Bitcoin ETF hold this much. Do they really hold that much? Because when the institutions go short, they need to borrow these Bitcoin from someone to sell it in the market, push the price down, then buy it back at a lower price and give it back to the borrower. Now, that means ETF, yes, on the books, they hold this much, but most likely they would have borrowed it to a third party who is shorting the market. Otherwise, how the hell does the math add up? You don't have that amount of supply coming in so that, they can actually go ahead and short like this. I mean, you're talking about 10 billion, 15 billion shorts piling up. That's not a small area. So the Bitcoin chart kind of clearly shows you someone is shorting the market. And when that's a levered short, you know what happens? Historically speaking, the market, it raises the leverage and then goes back into the favor of that direction, which means if the price action is going to be playing out the interesting move here, maybe 80, maybe 90, maybe 100, it's going to actually liquidate a ton of those hedge funds. Then it goes back down. So when they all flip bullish, this asset goes back bearish. So on a monthly, you're now picking up the Ranko. It shows you it's going super high. You pick it up on a weekly, it's still going up. You pick it up on a 3-day, it's going up. You pick it up on a daily and it's going up. So for Bitcoin, for anyone who don't want noise, the direction is clear. You follow the direction of the last candle. If it's green, your direction is to the upside. If it's red, your direction is to the downside. So Bitcoin on a daily, on a 3-day, on a weekly, everything shows you the exact same thing. Now pick up XRP for that matter. You're taking up XRP on a weekly, you're looking at the downside. You put that on a 3-day, you're looking at the downside. You put that on a daily, you're looking at the downside. We talked about this when the price came down to 0.52. Now, if you put it on a monthly, again, the trend is slowly to the downside. Now, yes, you can pull it up from the market cap side perspective, so you have extra level of data. But you still see the same. It's been a long time since the market cap is ranging inside this. You haven't shifted back to the upside. Now, we would all like to see a utility asset like this bouncing back up, bursting like crazy. That's all we want. But what we are looking at right now is what the market is showing us, whether it's turning around right now. So if you do look at the perspective here, Ether is showing you somewhat similar. The 3-day, the daily, the 3-day, the weekly, the daily, everything is showing you it's bouncing back to the upside. The range won't get invalidated unless it breaks below 3600 on a daily. But I would argue look for a 3-day, which is, a little bit macro than the daily, but a little bit micro than the weekly kind of perspective helps you a lot. So here it argues you're still good to go. You're still going up. So on a weekly, on a 3-day, when you're looking at the macro perspective, you understand the fact that whenever you re-enter the overbought territory on a Ranko, that doesn't happen every now and then. As you can see, that happens very rarely, right? So you got one on 21st August 2021, then November 2021, then here in 2024. So there is a big difference in this. Now, if you are that one of a guy who's looking at the stock market at the time, you can clearly see this. On a weekly, this is what you're doing. On a 3-day, this is what you're doing. On a daily, this is what you're doing. What else do you need as a confirmation of your direction unless there is a change in trend? So for the trend to change, you need to see that at least on a 3-day chart. But most likely, most favorably, it should be on a weekly chart. Now, again, let me bring you back to the crypto market looking at this exact same scenario. Total crypto market shows you it's going up. And the total tree, which is the altcoin market on a weekly, starts showing you it's entering first level of correction since the start of this bull market. The range has been expanding and now trying to correct. On a 3-day, it has already started. On a daily, it has already started. So you are literally waiting for the daily to show you it's reversing. Now, why would you look for that when the entire market is shaky? This is the reason. Because the entire market is not shaky. That's showing you to the upside on a daily. That's showing you to the upside on a 3-day. That's showing you the upside on a weekly. I mean, you go to the monthly, the results are same. You are expanding to the upside. You are at the all-time high range. You're about to go into price discovery for crypto market. It's about to break through 3 trillion, 5 trillion like that. But problem is, unless those numbers come into the picture, most of them won't believe it. Now, we have a situation in the market where dollar is bouncing up, gold is bouncing up, so someone is lying. There is a mismatch, and we'll get to see those. But the trouble is, you need to first look at the micro movement and say, okay, what if there is a micro leg to the downside, which kind of shows you it may come back down. So on a price structure level, you can put that argument. Whereas, if you're more of a pattern guy, you want to see this, a cup and handle pattern. I'd be happy to see that for sure. But I'd be even more happy to see the price coming back down to test this support for the total crypto market and then bounce off. That would add more momentum to the upside. So guys, if you haven't smashed that like button yet and you received value for your time here in the Scientific Investor family, smash that like button for me. I'll meet you guys on the next video. Bye for now.